Urban o campus.
Have you ever imagined a place where the sea does not carry blue waves but only garbage, oil, and a strong stench? Here, survival hangs by a thread, a razor-thin line between fighting on and giving up. Just beyond the roaring cranes and stacked containers of Manila's northern port lies a hidden world, one you won't find in glossy travel guides or the news. Like the forgotten corners of Detroit or rural Appalachia, these slums are a reminder of what happens when systems fail the most vulnerable. Yet, in the filth and danger, people build homes, raise kids, and push forward with raw grit. This isn't a travel documentary about perfect beaches or bustling markets. It's about real people, real struggles, and the kind of resilience that makes even the toughest guys stop and think, what would I do in their shoes? Join us as we dive into the heart of Manila's slums, the place where I thought survival was impossible. Manila Bay, where the skyline glitters with modern towers and luxury malls, seems like a symbol of progress and prosperity. But as we zoom in, the true story begins to unfold, a story of inequality, poverty, and survival. Beneath the shine of the city, an entire community struggles to survive in conditions most would find unimaginable. The slums of Manila Bay didn't happen by accident. They are a result of decades of rapid urbanization, poor planning, and the relentless migration of people seeking better opportunities in the capital. The slums began forming as far back as the 1950s, when rural residents from the provinces flocked to Manila for jobs in the booming industrial and service sectors. With little to no affordable housing available, many ended up on the edges of the city living in makeshift homes on the outskirts, near rivers and along the coast. This, combined with the city's lack of infrastructure and poor waste management, turned Manila Bay into a dumping ground, physically and metaphorically, for the country's underprivileged. Rusted, corrugated iron roofs precariously perch on the dark, undulating waters of Manila Bay. What seems like a chaotic mess of makeshift homes built from scraps of wood, plastic, and metal is actually the foundation of a community struggling to survive. Families cling to whatever they can find, crafting shelters that barely keep them safe from the elements. The stench of decay and the sight of plastic waste drifting in the water is an everyday reality. In Manila, poverty and environmental neglect have become inextricably linked. According to the National Solid Waste Management Commission, Manila generates about 9,700 tons of waste every day. Shockingly, 17% of this waste is untreated and dumped directly into rivers and oceans. Manila's port, once a symbol of the country's trade power, is now one of Southeast Asia's worst plastic waste hotspots. Every square meter of the water is a grim reminder of overconsumption. Plastic bags, fast food wrappers, and bottles pile up, slowly choking the bay. Men like Ramon, a 38-year-old father of three, wake before dawn to face the garbage heaps, his voice rough from years of breathing toxic dust. I don't sleep much. Every bottle, every scrap of metal I find puts rice on my kids' plates. If I stop, they starve. Each day, Ramon wades through piles of rotting waste, his hands scarred from sharp glass and rusted cans, searching for anything worth a few pesos. The work is grueling, 12-hour shifts under the scorching sun, with no gloves, no brakes, and no safety net. Last month, a cut from a broken bottle sent him to a makeshift clinic, costing half his earnings. But he keeps going, driven by the thought of his youngest daughter, Anna, who dreams of school. More than 15,000 households now live in the slums along the coast, most of them migrants from rural areas who arrived seeking a better life, only to find themselves pushed to the fringes of society. These families have no permanent homes, no stable income, and no legal protection. They are trapped in a cycle of poverty with little hope of escape. As a result, these slums have become a generational trap. According to a 2022 UN Habitat survey, up to 70% of children in these coastal slums never finish primary school. Not because they don't want to learn, but because they lack the resources and the schools to attend. Over 40% of families here have no access to clean water. The water they use for drinking, cooking, and bathing comes from the same polluted rivers and canals filled with trash, oil, and untreated sewage. Diseases like diarrhea, skin infections, and respiratory illnesses are so common that they have become an unavoidable part of daily life. These diseases are not seen as emergencies, but rather as the rhythm of existence in a place where survival takes precedence over everything else. Manila's slums weren't created overnight, nor were they caused by the people who live there. They were born from decades of neglect, poor governance, and the unchecked growth of the city. For years, the government has treated the issue as a problem for the future, something that will take time to fix. Meanwhile, the waste keeps coming, the disease keeps spreading, and the people keep suffering. Can you imagine what life is like for the women living there? Around 40% of the population in these areas consists of women, many of whom are the primary breadwinners in their families. But for these women, survival is a daily fight, shaped by the harsh realities of poverty, exploitation, and systemic neglect. Most of these women have no choice but to resort to whatever means they can to make ends meet. In an environment where opportunities are scarce, they turn to scavenging, picking through heaps of garbage in search of plastic, metal, or anything they can sell for a few pesos. They brave dangerous conditions, sorting through hazardous waste, often without gloves or protective gear, exposing themselves to sharp objects, bacteria, and the risk of serious illness. In addition to scavenging, many women find work in the underground economy, including in karaoke bars that double as fronts for illegal activities. Here, they are subjected to exploitation, working long hours and often degrading conditions, with little protection or oversight. For some, this is their only option to survive in a city that has turned its back on them. They are forced into these spaces where their bodies are commodified, their worth measured by how much they can earn from serving alcohol or entertaining clients. In the most tragic cases, some women turn to selling their bodies, offering themselves for sex in exchange for basic necessities like food, shelter, or medicine. The lack of social services and the absence of a proper safety net leave them with few choices, but to endure these degrading and dangerous situations, they are often forced into silence, as the stigma surrounding their work isolates them from any support. There is little to no protection for these women. The local authorities, overwhelmed and underfunded, fail to provide any meaningful safety measures. Women who are victims of abuse, harassment, or violence have nowhere to turn, as legal frameworks designed to protect them are either non-existent or largely ineffective. The lack of a support system leaves them vulnerable to further exploitation, creating a vicious cycle of poverty and violence. Despite the dire circumstances, these women display remarkable strength and resilience. They work tirelessly to provide for their families, doing what they can to break free from the grip of poverty and degradation. But the challenges they face are overwhelming, and without proper support, the cycle of exploitation and hardship continues. Their stories remain largely unheard, and their struggles remain hidden behind the walls of Manila's slums. Will anyone ever hear their cries for help, or will they continue to live in the shadows, invisible to the world? Have you ever eaten KFC chicken? In your country, those leftover bones might be thrown away, but here, they are brought back to life. In the slums of Manila, where food is scarce and survival is a daily struggle, even the bones of chicken are salvaged and transformed into a meal. Chicken bones adobo, a humble yet vital dish, takes what others discard and turns it into sustenance. For families living in poverty, nothing goes to waste, and the bones, once discarded, become a source of nourishment. What seems like trash to many is a lifeline to those living on the edge, highlighting the resilience and resourcefulness required to survive in such harsh conditions. Every day, they collect leftover chicken bones, skin, and any leftover meat scraps from the dump, which are washed, boiled, and cooked in a simple adobo sauce to make a meal that can stretch for multiple days. Though it may seem unappealing, this dish represents resourcefulness in the face of extreme poverty. This simple dish is often served with rice, making it a complete meal for many children who might otherwise go hungry. For those who live in Manila's slums, chicken bones adobo is not just a meal. It's a symbol of survival. It's a bitter reality, but it's the reality they live every day. By 2024, it was estimated that over 257,000 people were living in the coastal slums of Manila, according to the Partnership of the Philippine Urban Poor. To put that number into perspective, that's the population of a medium-sized city, all without legal rights to their homes. These families live in homes barely larger than 15 square meters, a space where 5 to 8 people eat, sleep, and cook together. The materials that form their homes are whatever they can find: rotted wood, rusty corrugated iron, old plastic, and even torn cement bags. In this cramped space, they face an unthinkable reality. There is no reliable electricity, no clean water, and no sanitation or waste treatment system. Just imagine the basic act of washing your face with water scooped from the sea, water contaminated with 17% of Manila's daily waste, according to the National Solid Waste Management Commission. A 2021 study by the Philippine Environmental Management Agency found that the E. coli levels in the coastal waters of Manila were 100 times higher than what is considered safe. And yet, this polluted water is where people wash their clothes, bathe, defecate, and even sometimes find food. With no other choice, styrofoam boxes are repurposed as boats, and garbage bags are hauled up to be sorted. Plastic bottles and aluminum cans are exchanged for a few coins, enough to buy rice, fish sauce, and salt. Education here is a distant dream. A 2023 survey by Save the Children Philippines found that 64% of 7 to 12-year-olds in these coastal areas are unable to read. Many of them have never been registered in any civil records, meaning they have no birth certificates, and without that, they cannot access public schooling, healthcare, or even register for exams. For these children, the future seems even more hopeless. When the rainy season comes, these makeshift homes become breeding grounds for disease. Dengue, fever, pneumonia, and diarrhea spread rapidly, and children are the first victims. A 2024 study by the University of the Philippines revealed that the mortality rate for children under 5 in these coastal slums is 4 times higher than that of children in urban districts with proper healthcare systems. But perhaps what is most heartbreaking is not just the numbers. It's the truth that these communities are almost invisible in the eyes of the government. They lack household registration, an administrative area code, or any legal recognition. They have no right to medical benefits, no access to relief during natural disasters, and no recourse when they are forcibly relocated. They live in the capital city of the Philippines, yet they are not recognized as citizens. So, how did this happen? It is not just poverty. It's the result of a long series of failures. Failures in land management, budget allocation, population control, and most importantly, failures in social equity. Urban policies are written for those who can afford them, leaving everyone else to be pushed to the margins. Tourists visiting Manila will see a vibrant city with deep blue beaches, ancient Spanish architecture, and delicious street food. But they will never see the dilapidated roofs hidden behind the harbor, the starving children scavenging for scraps under the blistering sun, or the mothers washing clothes in water that reeks with contamination. This is the reality of the Manila slums, the part of the city that society prefers to ignore. Though these slums are often absent from official maps, they have not been forgotten. In the face of a slow and chaotic public administration, the people here have taken matters into their own hands, creating pockets of light amidst the darkness. By the end of 2023, over 45 non-governmental organizations were actively working in the coastal slums surrounding Manila Bay, bringing critical support in the form of education, health services, environmental projects, and legal assistance. Makeshift classrooms have sprung up under hot tin roofs, with volunteers, often students or retired teachers, helping local children who have been left behind by the formal education system. In just 6 months, the Learning Under the Roof program increased literacy rates for 8 to 11-year-olds from 28% to 63%, a small but powerful victory in a place where hope is often in short supply. Community health and environmental initiatives have also started to make a difference. Through projects like the Clean Shores, Clean Lives project, spearheaded by Plastic Free Philippines, over 1,200 locals have been trained to sort recyclables, helping to remove over 110 tons of plastic waste in just 18 months. This program has created a small, sustainable recycling economy, providing extra income for hundreds of households. Micro-entrepreneurship is on the rise, with small bamboo stalls, clean water points, and solar-powered services beginning to dot the landscape. Despite these achievements, the community remains fragile. Many of these initiatives are supported only by temporary grants. And without continued funding, there's a real danger that 60% of the programs could be shut down in the next 12 months. What would happen if the classrooms disappear? If the trash sorting jobs are no longer funded? If the people who have fought so hard to create a better life are left with nothing? The residents of these slums never asked to be saved. What they needed was opportunity, the chance to be recognized, to live with dignity, and to have a voice in the city they help sustain. While the road ahead remains uncertain, these small acts of resilience are helping to rewrite the narrative of Manila. It's not just a city in crisis, it's a city where resilience is born from the most unlikely places: garbage, dirty water, and poverty. A cycle of collapse. In August 2024, the unthinkable happened. Within just 36 hours, a torrential downpour and an unexpected tidal surge submerged more than 70% of Manila's portside slums. What had been already fragile homes built from scavenged materials were now drowning in filthy, contaminated water. The floodwaters pushed layers of uncollected trash back into the homes, spilling onto beds, rice cookers, and even shared living spaces. For the families here, the flood didn't just damage property, it destroyed their sense of stability. And yet, this was just the beginning. Manila Bay is sinking. According to the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, PAGASA, sea levels in Manila Bay are rising at an average of 0.4 centimeters per year, higher than the global average. The flooding of the slums has become more frequent, and the consequences more dire. Within 3 weeks of the flood, the Department of Health reported a doubling of hospitalizations for diseases like diarrhea, skin rashes, and respiratory infections. A local health center in Baseco district revealed that 62% of children under 10 were malnourished or severely dehydrated after the disaster. Can you imagine a child's pain, not just from hunger, but from knowing there's no food left to eat? The environmental destruction didn't stop at health concerns. The temporary classrooms, which had offered hope for education, were completely destroyed. Community programs like the Clean Shores, Clean Lives project were halted as the recycling centers flooded, leaving workers without income. Murals, once filled with vibrant colors and joy, became mere smudges in the black waters. The very symbols of hope now washed away in the floods. The statistics are grim. According to an internal report from Urban Development Watch, only 12% of community rehabilitation projects in coastal Manila are designed to withstand floods lasting longer than 24 hours. What does that say about the durability of these solutions? They were built on fragile foundations, unable to withstand the onslaught of natural disasters. Furthermore, funding for non-governmental organizations and community programs has dropped by 31% from 2022 to the end of 2024 as resources are diverted to areas affected by typhoons and droughts. But the real devastation isn't just caused by the floods. It's caused by a system that doesn't work in harmony, where central and local governments fail to communicate and decisions are made in a disjointed, chaotic way. Forced relocation orders have been issued without clear plans, and health services have been slashed due to budget cuts. So, what are the families supposed to do? Where do they go when floodwaters rise on one side and eviction orders loom on the other? In desperation, many families have been forced to sell their last possessions, rice cookers, metal doors, just to afford clean water, medicine, or pay off debts they've incurred from the flood's aftermath. A study by the Asian Development Bank shows that 53% of households in Manila's coastal slums are trapped in a cycle of recurring debt, borrowing to pay off old loans just to survive another day. But for the families here, it's more than just a cycle. It's a never-ending struggle for survival. Have you ever known someone who had to sell their roof just to buy cold medicine for their child? For the people of Manila's slums, this isn't an isolated tragedy. It's a reality that plays out every rainy season. A single storm can destroy more than a roof. It can wipe out a future. And with the constant cycle of floods, debt, and displacement, how much longer can this system survive? Thank you for taking the time to watch and learn about the struggles and resilience of those living in Manila's slums. I hope this story has given you a deeper understanding of the challenges they face daily. Their story isn't just one of hardship, but also of strength and determination. Please don't forget to share this video so more people can learn about these untold stories. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in our next video. Stay tuned for more powerful stories from the heart of our world.
One canoe, one gun, neck fish, room, enough for life because stay in the sea, simple.
How long can you hold your breath underwater? These are the Bajau people, nomadic sea dwellers who have lived on water for thousands of years. In the crystal clear waters of Southeast Asia, they dive deeper and stay underwater longer than most of us could ever imagine. National Geographic has written about them, and for good reason. They can hold their breath for over 13 minutes while fishing. Yes, 13 minutes, longer than most Olympic swimmers.
My connection to the sea is so much make me very happy.
Bajau children grow up surrounded by water, learning to swim before they can walk. Over generations, their bodies have adapted to their environment, with larger spleens to store oxygen, lungs that efficiently extract it from the water, and hands and feet designed to move gracefully through the sea. But is this life something they are proud of, or a quiet pain they've learned to live with?
Tibanangku sudah angku ni mbak, buna alo andaku.
I teach, I kid, I know follow my life, no be fisherman, hot life.
The Bajau people have lived in harmony with the sea for centuries. Their history is fluid as the very waters they navigate. Spanning across the maritime regions of Southeast Asia, including Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, the Bajau are known as sea nomads, with distinct subgroups in each country. Despite regional differences, the common thread that unites all Bajau communities is their unwavering dependence on the sea. For them, the ocean is more than just a source of livelihood. It is the foundation of their culture and way of life. Their history isn't just about migration. It's an ongoing story of adaptation to the unpredictable and often harsh marine environment. Today, the Bajau have a population of around 1.3 million, with distinct subgroups in each country. Despite these regional differences, what unites them is their deep reliance on the ocean for survival, culture, and identity. The Bajau speak Sinama, along with other languages like Malay, Filipino, and English. While most practice Sunni Islam, some follow folk Islamic traditions or animism. Their unique way of life is intricately tied to the sea, shaping both their daily existence and their rich cultural heritage. In terms of architecture, the Bajau have mastered the art of building homes that are as resilient as they are resourceful. Living on the water, their homes are often built on stilts, elevated above the ocean, or placed on floating platforms. The iconic Lipa Lipa boats, essential to their lives, are one example of their floating dwellings, while their stilt houses are made from bamboo, wood, and thatch materials sourced from the very environment that surrounds them. These homes, designed with both practicality and sustainability in mind, withstand the tides and storms that come their way. The modular structure of their homes allows for easy expansion or relocation, showcasing the Bajau's inherent adaptability. Growing up on the water, Bajau children learn to swim before they can walk. From an early age, they are taught to dive, fish, and navigate the seas. By the age of 8, many are already skilled in hunting and fishing, spending their days at sea. A typical day for the Bajau begins at the crack of dawn. The Bajau's primary livelihood comes from fishing, and they spend hours out at sea, casting nets or diving deep into the water to catch fish and other marine life. They dive into the abyss, defying human limits. Once they have their catch, the next task is to bring it back to the floating markets or nearby communities. These markets, often set up on the edge of the water, are bustling with traders and vendors, where fish, vegetables, and other goods are sold. In the evening, the horizon glows with the fading sunlight, signaling the end of another cycle of survival for this resilient community. Would you dare puncture your eardrum just to dive deeper and longer? The Bajau people's freediving abilities are truly extraordinary, and have captivated scientists for years. Imagine diving as deep as 230 feet into the murky depths of the ocean, holding your breath for up to 13 minutes without feeling the panic most of us would experience. This incredible skill isn't just a party trick, it's a way of life for the Bajau. Fishing and gathering marine resources from the depths of the sea are not just daily activities but necessities for survival. Their bodies have undergone remarkable physiological changes to adapt to the underwater world in ways that are both astonishing and dangerous. One of the most remarkable features of their freediving ability is the size of their spleens. The Bajau's spleens are about 1.5 times larger than those of average land dwellers, a key adaptation that allows them to stay submerged longer. When they dive, their spleens contract, releasing oxygen-rich red blood cells into their bodies, keeping them submerged for those dangerous extended periods. The deeper they dive, the more their bodies push the limits of what is possible, defying nature's challenges. The Bajau's adaptations go beyond just their spleens. Some individuals have even intentionally ruptured their eardrums, allowing them to dive with less pain and more control under the immense pressure of ocean depths. Sacrifice? Permanent hearing loss. But for them, it's a small price to pay for a more efficient dive. It's remarkable, yet true. Beyond that, their lung capacity has evolved to help them endure longer periods without oxygen, and their underwater vision is nothing short of remarkable. Bajau children, even from a young age, can see clearly underwater, an advantage when hunting in the murky waters where most people would struggle. This adaptation allows them to spot fish and other resources that are otherwise invisible to the untrained eye. The Bajau spend about 5 hours a day underwater and continue to evolve through generations. These physiological traits are not just quirks of evolution, they are life or death adaptations. But what happens when a body is pushed too far? The dangers of freediving are ever present, yet the Bajau press on, their resilience and adaptability unmatched. They face risks like decompression sickness from rapid ascents, barotrauma from pressure changes, and hypoxia from holding their breath too long. Accidental drowning and unpredictable currents also pose constant threats. Additionally, the polluted waters expose them to skin infections and respiratory issues, making their daily struggle even more dangerous. The Bajau people's daily life is intricately tied to the sea. Their lifestyle has been honed over generations. In Bajau communities, men rise early each day, heading out into the waters to fish. These fishermen, using ancient techniques passed down through generations, often spend several hours at sea, returning later with their catch. The Bajau community's fishing methods include spearfishing, net fishing, and shellfish collection, utilizing tools crafted from local materials like bamboo and coral. These skills, vital for survival, have been fine-tuned over centuries, and children are taught to swim, dive, and navigate the waters as early as possible. This early education ensures that the next generation can continue these age-old traditions. Women play a crucial role too, particularly in shallow water fishing, and in preparing and preserving food to sustain their families, especially during lean periods. Bajau families often live in extended units, with multiple generations under one roof or in close proximity. This communal living structure strengthens their sense of belonging and mutual support, which is essential for survival. Elders not only pass down practical skills, but also maintain cultural stories and beliefs that keep the community unified. The stilt villages in which they reside are connected by narrow walkways that hover above the water, fostering a close-knit communal society. The design of these villages ensures that everyone works together, sharing daily tasks and responsibilities. But what happens when the Bajau face natural disasters? With their homes perched on stilts over the ocean, they are constantly vulnerable to violent storms and rising tides. These natural disasters can sweep away entire villages, leaving the community with nothing but debris. Floods and the powerful surge of water threaten both lives and livelihoods. After each storm, the Bajau are left to pick up the pieces. Some may consider moving inland to escape the constant danger, but many remain steadfast, unwilling to leave the water that has defined their existence for generations. The devastation forces them to rebuild, often using whatever materials they can salvage from the wreckage. It's a cycle of destruction and rebirth, driven by their deep resilience and a refusal to let go of their identity and way of life, no matter the danger they face. Could you adapt to such a life, where survival depends on the tides, nature, and the strength of your community? Interestingly, an American traveler visiting this place was deeply impressed by the way of life here. So moved by the beauty and the people, they longed to return and become a part of the community, falling in love with both the sea and the people who call it home. Marriage is a major milestone in Bajau culture, marked by elaborate courtship rituals like kanduli, where young men serenade their potential brides. Weddings themselves are grand events, filled with vibrant traditional attire, dance, and blessings from elders. The bride's costume, adorned with intricate beadwork and embroidery, showcases the artistry that defines the Bajau people. These events are not just about the couple but a communal celebration, with food, music, and dance lasting for days, underscoring the importance of family, community, and the sea. Have you ever witnessed a celebration like this? Let us know in the comments below. Cultural traditions and spiritual beliefs are integral to Bajau life. Rooted in animism, the Bajau have a deep respect for the sea, which they see as both a life-sustaining force and a spiritual entity. They believe in sea spirits and regularly perform rituals to ensure safe voyages and a good catch. Disrupting this balance is thought to bring misfortune to the community, making harmony with the sea essential for their survival. Over time, Islamic teachings have blended with their traditional animistic beliefs, creating a unique fusion of spirituality. This blend is evident in their rituals, festivals, and daily practices, where Islamic customs coexist with older traditions. Ceremonies marking births, marriages, and deaths reflect both Islamic and Bajau customs, reflecting a deeply rooted spiritual heritage. Storytelling is central to Bajau culture, where elders pass down knowledge through tales of legendary fishermen, mythical sea creatures, and heroic ancestors. These stories serve not only to entertain, but to impart important lessons about survival, respect for the ocean, and living in harmony with nature. Many of these stories are cautionary, teaching younger generations the values necessary to thrive in their aquatic world. What else remains to be uncovered about the lives of these remarkable people? Keep watching to discover the untold stories of the Bajau and the mysteries they hold. Bajau's approach to health is unlike anything most people would expect. They rely on traditional medicine that has been passed down through generations, drawing on the natural resources around them herbs, plants, and marine life. But their knowledge goes far beyond simple remedies. It's a complex, almost mystical practice. The sea, a constant presence in their lives, plays a pivotal role in their healing. Seaweed, mangrove bark, and other oceanic resources are used to treat ailments, their power believed to stem from the very essence of the water itself. However, the Bajau don't just rely on nature. Their shamans, guardians of spiritual health, perform rituals that many believe can heal the most profound and elusive of illnesses. These rituals address what the Bajau consider to be spiritual imbalances, believed to be the root cause of physical suffering. The line between physical and spiritual health is blurred for the Bajau, reflecting a worldview where every ailment has both a natural and metaphysical solution. Social events are a cornerstone of Bajau society, offering a vibrant reflection of their culture and communal bonds. Whether it's a wedding, a communal fishing trip, or a religious ceremony, these gatherings are lively celebrations that strengthen relationships and uphold cultural identity. Music and dance play key roles, with traditional performances often mimicking the rhythms of the sea, a testament to the Bajau's deep connection with the ocean. The sounds of drums and singing echo the waves that shape their lives. The Bajau people have shown remarkable resilience and adaptability throughout their history, but they now face significant challenges in the modern world. Globalization, environmental degradation, and climate change are reshaping the environments they have relied on for centuries. Rising global temperatures and the acidification of oceans are damaging coral reefs and fish populations, which are vital to the Bajao's way of life. Industrial trawlers and overfishing are further depleting marine resources, making it harder for the Bajau to fish as they once did. With many still dependent on traditional fishing methods, these external pressures are forcing them to either adapt to modern economic systems or risk losing their cultural way of life. Access to essential services such as healthcare and education remains limited in remote Bajau communities, often situated in isolated regions. The lack of infrastructure means that young people in these areas have fewer opportunities for higher education or skilled work, leading to poor health outcomes and limited economic mobility. While some Bajau have migrated to urban areas in search of work, many continue to live on the water, holding on to their ancestral lifestyle. Despite these hardships, many remain dedicated to preserving their cultural heritage and traditions. Local and international organizations are working with the Bajau to improve access to resources, preserve their marine environment, and promote sustainable fishing practices, helping them navigate the challenges of the modern world while staying connected to their roots. The future of the Bajau people remains uncertain, with ongoing debates over their way of life and the role of government intervention. While many Bajau continue to live on the water, their lifestyle has come under scrutiny from both the government and external organizations. There is a growing concern about their reliance on traditional fishing methods, which are increasingly unsustainable due to environmental degradation and overfishing, causing them to live in poverty. Children do not attend school and lack proper health care. For the Bajau, their connection to the sea is not just a livelihood, it's a way of life, deeply rooted in their culture and identity. The government's view of the Bajau community is mixed. While some officials view them as a symbol of cultural richness, others see them as a relic of the past, standing in the way of urban development and modernization. This has led to increasing pressure to move the Bajau people away from the water and into more conventional forms of housing, often in urban centers or settlements on land. The government has argued that relocating the Bajau would improve their access to essential services such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure, which are difficult to provide in the isolated, often inaccessible waters where they live. On the other hand, many external organizations and human rights advocates argue that the Bajau's right to live as they choose should be respected. They believe that efforts should be focused on supporting the community's adaptation to the modern world, rather than attempting to erase their unique way of life. These groups emphasize the importance of preserving the Bajau's cultural heritage and offer solutions to help the community thrive without forcing them to abandon their traditional lifestyle. Ultimately, the future of the Bajau is at a crossroads, with the government's plans for their relocation coming into conflict with the community's desire to preserve their maritime culture. The challenge lies in finding a balance between modernization and preserving the Bajau's identity. What do you think? Should the Bajau adapt to a modern way of life on land, or should their unique heritage be preserved? The Bajau people's way of life is both extraordinary and fragile. For centuries, they have thrived in harmony with the ocean, adapting to its rhythms and dangers in ways that most of us can scarcely imagine. Their ability to survive and even thrive in such a harsh environment speaks to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. Yet, as they face the forces of environmental degradation, overfishing, and external pressures from governments and modern development, their way of life is increasingly at risk. Ultimately, the future of the Bajau people hinges on finding a balance between modernization and cultural preservation. Their resilience, adaptability, and deep connection to the ocean offer valuable lessons for all of us in navigating the challenges of a rapidly changing world. Nevertheless, I hope that they continue to find joy and embrace their current way of life. Thank you for staying with us on this journey into the heart of the Bajau community. Your time and attention mean a lot. If you found their story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next time for another incredible journey. Stay curious.
Despite its beauty, the Philippines hides a brutal contrast. Just a few steps away from the glittering city skyline lies a slump where people survive by eating discarded food, and every day is a fight to stay alive. Families live on less than $1 a day. The Philippines is paradise, but not the kind you think. And that's just one of the 15 facts we're about to uncover. This is a country that defies every stereotype. Some of these truths will inspire you, some might disturb you, but all of them will open your eyes. This is not just another island nation. This is the Philippines, raw, radiant, and real. (15) A nation of islands, languages, and history. The Philippines is a vast archipelago with over 7,000 islands scattered across the Pacific Ocean, making it one of the largest island nations in the world. It is divided into 3 main regions: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Each region has its own unique culture, geography, and history. From the bustling streets of Manila on Luzon to the diversity of this island nation is reflected in its people and landscapes. The countless islands offer everything from rugged mountains to pristine beaches, all waiting to be explored. The name Philippines itself carries the weight of history. It was named after King Philip II of Spain during the 16th century, when the islands became a Spanish colony. The country's colonial past is still visible in its architecture, traditions, and even its cuisine. The Philippines' ties to Spain have shaped its identity in profound ways, influencing everything from religion to social structures. But perhaps one of the most mind-blowing aspects of the Philippines is its linguistic diversity. With more than 170 languages and dialects spoken across the archipelago, it is one of the most linguistically diverse countries in the world. While Tagalog and Cebuano are the most widely spoken, English is the official language for government and education, making communication seamless for international travelers. The Philippines' rich mix of languages reflects its history and the many cultures that have influenced this beautiful country. As you venture across the islands, you'll find that each region offers a unique way of life, giving you a truly immersive experience in this captivating travel documentary destination. 14. Slum life and the resilience of Filipino cuisine, chicken reborn from bones. In the bustling streets of Manila, away from the polished tourist spots, lies a world where survival is an art. The slums, where over 12 million people cram into overcrowded neighborhoods, survival is a daily battle. These communities face unimaginable hardships: limited access to clean water, cramped living conditions, and scarce resources. Yet, amidst these challenges, something extraordinary happens. How do they make it through? Imagine this: chicken made from bones. Yes, you read that right. Leftover chicken bones, once discarded as waste, are transformed into a rich, hearty stew. Simmered with soy sauce, vinegar, and garlic, this dish is not just a meal, but a symbol of survival and creativity. What once seemed like scraps becomes a feast, uniting families and offering nourishment when resources are scarce. The ability to rise above such dire circumstances and still find joy in the struggle is the true testament to the Filipino spirit. In a world where every meal is hard-earned and every penny counts, these communities don't just survive, they thrive, proving that even in the toughest situations, resilience and creativity will always find a way. Could you face this kind of challenge? Would you have the strength to keep going? 13. The women of the Philippines: strength, grace, and resilience. When you arrive in the Philippines, you will encounter a variety of skin tones. Filipinos of Austronesian descent have a natural brown complexion due to their ancestors living in tropical regions with strong sunlight year-round. Filipinos of Spanish descent, due to 333 years of Spanish rule, often have fairer skin. This is also why Filipino women possess many different charms, ranging from Euro-Asian beauty to a North American flair. The Philippines ranks highest in the world for the percentage of women holding senior management positions in medium-sized companies. While traditional Filipino women place great importance on family and care for their children, modern Filipino girls embody both traditional values and the unique traits of contemporary women. They are very loyal in their marriages, and the image of a vibrant, capable Filipino woman returning home after work to share a warm meal and joyful moments with her husband and children is quite common. However, many Filipino men still hold traditional views and uphold old cultural norms. As a result, many talented young Filipino women today seek opportunities for personal growth and cross-border relationships, hoping to find foreign partners who can offer respect and equality in marriage, particularly European and American men, as English is their second language. An increasing number of Filipino girls are marrying foreign men, especially Americans and Canadians. Their standards for partners are not overly high. They simply want someone they can trust, share with, and who respects them in the relationship. If you're interested in us sharing online dating apps to connect with Filipino girls and tips for winning their hearts, please leave a comment with the number 8. 12. Main modes of transport. What's the most iconic way to get around the Philippines? That would be the jeepney, a loud, lively, art-covered bus that evolved from U.S. military jeeps left behind after World War II. These moving murals are more than just transport. They're a cultural symbol. In Manila alone, over 50,000 jeepneys zoom through busy streets each day. They don't follow strict bus stops, just wave them down. Rides start around 8 pesos for the first 4 kilometers, with small additions for longer distances. And then there's the habal, a modified motorcycle that can carry up to 12 people. This isn't just a ride, it's an experience. Imagine hopping onto one of these for a cross-village journey. Would you try it? Before we continue, if you're enjoying this travel documentary, do us a quick favor. Like the video, drop a comment below with your favorite fact so far, and hit that subscribe button. We bring you travel documentary adventures every week that dive into the world's most fascinating cultures and stories. Let's keep this journey going together. 11. Why buying a car feels like buying a mansion. In most countries, owning a car is a milestone. In the Philippines, it can feel like winning the lottery. The cost of purchasing a vehicle here is eye-watering, sometimes up to 50% higher than in the US or Europe. And it's not just the price tag. Add a 12% value-added tax, excise taxes up to 50%, and sky-high import duties, and your $20,000 car suddenly costs over $30,000. Now add this context. The average Filipino earns between $300 and $500 per month. For most, a brand new car is out of reach. It's a dream they walk past every day on their way to catch a jeepney. This has created a booming second-hand market where older vehicles change hands again and again. Some buyers opt for locally assembled cars to avoid import fees. Others simply stretch their budget and make do. And so on the streets of Manila, you'll often see BMWs and Bentleys roaring past rusty, smoke-belching jeepneys. That contrast, luxury, and struggle side by side is one of the many paradoxes that define the Philippines. 10. The best beaches and scenic wonders of the Philippines. The Philippines is a paradise for nature lovers, with some of the most stunning beaches and natural wonders in the world. White Beach on Boracay Island stands out as one of the most beautiful, renowned globally for its soft, powdery sand that stretches over 4 kilometers and its crystal-clear turquoise waters. It consistently ranks among the best beaches lists, offering gentle waves and unforgettable sunsets. Whether you're relaxing under a palm tree or enjoying thrilling water activities like kite surfing, White Beach is a perfect escape for every type of traveler. On Boracay, El Nido in Palawan offers breathtaking seascapes with towering limestone cliffs and hidden lagoons that create a tropical wonderland. The turquoise waters, surrounded by lush green islands, make it a haven for divers seeking rich marine life. Siargao, known as the surfing capital, not only boasts pristine beaches, but also crystal-clear waters and gentle surf, attracting surfers from around the globe. For those seeking something off the beaten path, Camiguin Island offers secluded beaches, volcanic landscapes, and natural hot springs perfect for exploration. The diversity of the Philippines' landscapes, from sandy shores to towering cliffs and serene lagoons, makes it a dream destination. In this travel documentary, we showcase how these islands and beaches, including the world-renowned White Beach, provide an unparalleled experience for those seeking nature's ultimate beauty. 9. Home to killer whales and unique wildlife. The waters surrounding the Philippines are not only known for their stunning beaches and crystal-clear seas, but also for being home to some of the ocean's most majestic creatures, including the elusive orca, or killer whale. While often associated with colder waters, orcas can also be found in the tropical seas of the Philippines, making it one of the rare places in the world where these apex predators thrive. For those lucky enough to catch a glimpse of these magnificent creatures, their presence is a reminder of the untamed beauty of the ocean. But the wildlife of the Philippines doesn't end with orcas. The archipelago is home to some of the world's most unique and endangered species. One such creature is the tarsier, a small primate with enormous eyes, native to the islands of Bohol. These nocturnal animals are so tiny they can easily fit in the palm of your hand, and their remarkable ability to turn their heads 180 degrees has earned them a place in the hearts of nature lovers and conservationists. Additionally, the Philippines is a haven for rare marine life, including sea turtles and a wide variety of exotic birds, many of which can only be found in the country. From its jungles to its coral reefs, the Philippines is a living sanctuary for biodiversity. This travel documentary destination invites wildlife enthusiasts and travelers to explore not only the beauty of the landscape, but the incredible creatures that call this nation home. 8. Davao, the safest city in the Philippines. Are you searching for a new country to live in or retire peacefully? The Philippines might just be the perfect destination you've been looking for. Tucked away in the southern region of Mindanao, Davao City is renowned for being one of the safest cities not just in the Philippines but in Southeast Asia. Known for its low crime rates, Davao has earned a reputation as a city where both locals and tourists can feel secure. This is largely due to strict local governance and effective law enforcement, which have made public safety a top priority. One unique aspect of Davao's safety protocols is its no smoking rule in public spaces, a policy that is strictly enforced across the city. The presence of peace and order extends beyond laws. It's reflected in the calm atmosphere and the overall sense of security felt by its residents. The city also features a tight-knit community where people respect each other's space and well-being. In addition to its safety, Davao is known for its beautiful landscapes and natural attractions. The towering Mount Apo, the highest peak in the Philippines, is located here, drawing adventure seekers and nature lovers alike. Davao is also famous for its durian, a pungent yet delicious fruit, which is often considered the city's symbol. Whether you're hiking in the mountains or strolling through its clean, well-maintained streets, Davao's welcoming and safe environment makes it an ideal destination for those seeking peace of mind while exploring. 7. Ninoy Aquino International Airport, the busy gateway of the Philippines. Ninoy Aquino International Airport in Manila stands as the primary gateway to the Philippines, welcoming millions of travelers each year. Ranked among the busiest airports in the world, NAIA serves as a crucial hub connecting the archipelago to destinations across Asia, Europe, and beyond. Despite its challenges, including congestion and long lines, the airport is a testament to the Philippines' vibrant tourism and business industries. One interesting fact about NAIA is its historical significance. The airport was named after Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr., a prominent Filipino political figure who was assassinated there in 1983. His death marked a turning point in the country's history, sparking the People Power Revolution and eventually leading to the fall of Ferdinand Marcos's dictatorship. The naming of the airport after Aquino honors his legacy and the nation's journey toward democracy. While it may not yet match the luxury of some global airports, NAIA remains a symbol of the Philippines' welcoming spirit. Travelers passing through are often greeted by the vibrant energy of the country, from the lively local shops selling Filipino handicraft to the bustling crowds filled with a mix of excitement and anticipation. This travel documentary destination captures the paradox of being both chaotic and charming, much like the country it serves. 6. Karaoke culture, the heartbeat of Filipino fun. Karaoke in the Philippines is more than just a hobby, it's a cultural phenomenon. It's a beloved tradition that brings people together, whether in a humble home or a karaoke bar. Filipinos of all ages passionately sing everything from classic ballads to modern pop hits, often joining in as a group. Karaoke is about more than singing, it's about creating memories, sharing laughter, and bonding with loved ones. This tradition transcends age and social status, with even the shyest individuals taking part. Here's a fun fact. Many karaoke bars in the Philippines offer an anti-social mode, where songs are instrumental, allowing solo singers to enjoy the experience without feeling judged. It's a perfect example of how seriously Filipinos take their karaoke culture. It's all about fun, not perfection. This iconic tradition even makes its way into Filipino travel documentaries, showcasing the vibrant spirit of the country. 5. Celebrating the Moon and Sinulog, two unique Filipino festivals. In the Philippines, the Mid-Autumn Festival, or Moon Festival, is a celebration blending Chinese traditions with Filipino flair. Especially significant for the Filipino-Chinese community, families gather to honor the harvest moon, symbolizing unity and prosperity. One of the key traditions is making and sharing mooncakes, filled with lotus seed paste or red bean, representing harmony. Lantern parades light up the streets, with colorful lanterns released into the sky to carry wishes for the future. This celebration beautifully reflects the Philippines' cultural diversity. Then there's the Grand Sinulog Festival in Cebu, one of the largest and most vibrant in the country. Held every January, it honors Santo Niño, the child Jesus, with lively street parades, traditional dances, and spiritual ceremonies, attracting millions of visitors. The Sinulog dance, full of rhythmic energy, captures the devotion and spirit of the Filipino people, drawing both locals and tourists into a celebration of faith and culture. The streets of Cebu come alive with vibrant colors, music, and energy, making Sinulog a quintessential Filipino experience. These festivals, with their unique histories and vibrant traditions, highlight the Philippines' rich cultural heritage and offer an unforgettable experience for anyone lucky enough to witness them in this travel documentary. 4. Kamayan and the Filipino food experience. Filipino cuisine isn't just about food. It's a vibrant, flavorful journey through history and culture. Kamayan, the Filipino tradition of eating with hands, is the ultimate expression of this rich culinary heritage. Imagine a feast laid out on banana leaves, with adobo, lechon, and sinigang, among other delights, where everyone gathers around to dig in using their hands, sharing not just food, but memories. This lively and communal experience brings people together, reflecting the heart of Filipino hospitality. The food is more than just a meal. It's a celebration of unity, culture, and tradition. Adobo, marinated meat slow-cooked in soy sauce and vinegar, is a dish that never fails to satisfy. Lechon, the crispy roast pig, is often served at major celebrations, while sinigang, a sour soup, provides comfort during rainy days. These dishes, along with other Filipino favorites, showcase the bold, unique flavors of the country, and it's all enjoyed in the spirit of togetherness during a Kamayan feast, where the meal itself becomes an unforgettable experience. What's your favorite Filipino dish, and would you try Kamayan for the first time? Let us know in the comments below. 3. Living costs in the Philippines, an affordable paradise. The Philippines offers a surprisingly low cost of living, making it an attractive destination for foreigners seeking an affordable lifestyle. In Manila, a one-bedroom apartment costs around $700 to $900 per month, but moving to smaller cities like Cebu or Davao can bring the cost down to $400 to $600. This is a stark contrast to major cities in Western countries, where similar accommodations could easily cost $1,500 or more. Everyday expenses are also far more affordable. Dining out at local restaurants will cost just $3 to $7, while grocery bills are similarly low. The cost of utilities, transportation, and healthcare is also significantly cheaper, making it easier for foreigners to live comfortably on a modest budget. For those looking to retire or relocate, the Philippines offers an excellent opportunity to enjoy a high quality of life without the financial burden of expensive living costs elsewhere. The low living expenses, combined with stunning natural beauty, make it a perfect place to settle down and experience a relaxed, fulfilling lifestyle. With these costs, would you choose to settle here? If yes, choose 1. If not, choose 0. Please share your answer in the comments. 2. Vegan, a glimpse into another century. In the northern province of Ilocos Sur, time seems to slow down. Cobblestone streets, horse-drawn carriages, Spanish colonial houses with wooden shutters and tiled roofs. Welcome to Vigan, one of the best preserved examples of a Spanish-era town in Asia. Walking through Calle Crisologo, the city's main historic street, feels like stepping into a time capsule. By day, sunlight warms the walls of ancestral homes turned into museums and boutique hotels. By night, lanterns glow over balconies, and the clip-clop of horses echoes down quiet alleys. It's not just nostalgia, it's real life. Families still live in these centuries-old houses. Artisans carve furniture by hand, bake empanadas in clay ovens, and weave cloth using age-old looms. This city is not just a backdrop for a travel documentary, it's a breathing piece of history where daily life unfolds on streets paved with memory. 1. A way of life built on hospitality. The most unforgettable thing in the Philippines isn't found in the markets, on the beaches, or even in the mountains. It's in the people. Filipinos are famously warm, polite, and welcoming. Strangers are greeted with smiles and respectful terms like sir, ma'am, ate, meaning older sister, or kuya, meaning older brother, regardless of age or background. Phrases like po and opo are peppered into speech to show courtesy. There's a natural generosity here. If you're lost, someone will walk with you. If you're hungry, someone might offer food. Even in busy cities or struggling neighborhoods, the culture of kindness never fades. In banks or government offices, special lanes are often reserved for the elderly, pregnant women, or those with disabilities. In traffic jams that stretch for hours, tempers remain surprisingly calm. No honking, no shouting, just patience, and maybe a karaoke tune playing from a nearby tricycle. This travel documentary began with geography, history, and food, but it ends here, with people. Because in the end, that's what makes a country unforgettable. So there you have it, 15 mind-blowing facts about the Philippines, a country overflowing with culture, contrast, and heart. From beaches that rival the world's best, to traditions passed down through centuries, to a karaoke mic waiting for your turn, this is a nation that lives fully and welcomes you into its rhythm. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Which would you want to see with your own eyes?
Pabor naman po sa kanila eh. Hindi kayo nakakot? Eh, yung iba naman po.
Have you ever imagined a place where the sea does not carry blue waves but only garbage, oil, and a strong stench? Here, survival hangs by a thread, a razor-thin line between fighting on and giving up. Just beyond the roaring cranes and stacked containers of Manila's northern port lies a hidden world, one you won't find in glossy travel guides or the news. Like the forgotten corners of Detroit or rural Appalachia, these slums are a reminder of what happens when systems fail the most vulnerable. Yet, in the filth and danger, people build homes, raise kids, and push forward with raw grit. This isn't a travel documentary about perfect beaches or bustling markets. It's about real people, real struggles, and the kind of resilience that makes even the toughest guys stop and think, what would I do in their shoes? Join us as we dive into the heart of Manila's slums, the place where I thought survival was impossible. Manila Bay, where the skyline glitters with modern towers and luxury malls, seems like a symbol of progress and prosperity. But as we zoom in, the true story begins to unfold, a story of inequality, poverty, and survival. Beneath the shine of the city, an entire community struggles to survive in conditions most would find unimaginable. The slums of Manila Bay didn't happen by accident. They are a result of decades of rapid urbanization, poor planning, and the relentless migration of people seeking better opportunities in the capital. The slums began forming as far back as the 1950s, when rural residents from the provinces flocked to Manila for jobs in the booming industrial and service sectors. With little to no affordable housing available, many ended up on the edges of the city living in makeshift homes on the outskirts, near rivers and along the coast. This, combined with the city's lack of infrastructure and poor waste management, turned Manila Bay into a dumping ground, physically and metaphorically, for the country's underprivileged. Rusted, corrugated iron roofs precariously perch on the dark, undulating waters of Manila Bay. What seems like a chaotic mess of makeshift homes built from scraps of wood, plastic, and metal is actually the foundation of a community struggling to survive. Families cling to whatever they can find, crafting shelters that barely keep them safe from the elements. The stench of decay and the sight of plastic waste drifting in the water is an everyday reality. In Manila, poverty and environmental neglect have become inextricably linked. According to the National Solid Waste Management Commission, Manila generates about 9,700 tons of waste every day. Shockingly, 17% of this waste is untreated and dumped directly into rivers and oceans. Manila's port, once a symbol of the country's trade power, is now one of Southeast Asia's worst plastic waste hotspots. Every square meter of the water is a grim reminder of overconsumption. Plastic bags, fast food wrappers, and bottles pile up, slowly choking the bay. Men like Ramon, a 38-year-old father of 3, wake before dawn to face the garbage heaps, his voice rough from years of breathing toxic dust. I don't sleep much. Every bottle, every scrap of metal I find puts rice on my kids' plates. If I stop, they starve. Each day, Ramon wades through piles of rotting waste, his hands scarred from sharp glass and rusted cans, searching for anything worth a few pesos. The work is grueling, 12-hour shifts under the scorching sun, with no gloves, no brakes, and no safety net. Last month, a cut from a broken bottle sent him to a makeshift clinic, costing half his earnings. But he keeps going, driven by the thought of his youngest daughter, Anna, who dreams of school. More than 15,000 households now live in the slums along the coast, most of them migrants from rural areas who arrived seeking a better life, only to find themselves pushed to the fringes of society. These families have no permanent homes, no stable income, and no legal protection. They are trapped in a cycle of poverty with little hope of escape. As a result, these slums have become a generational trap. According to a 2022 UN Habitat survey,